If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the. If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the daily.
Welcome back to the Slightly Daily Podcast, episode number 87. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it's called. It's weird. Spotify is just Spotify. Apple wants to be complicated. You know what I'm saying? You're a Spotify guy, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Apple is like, we have Apple Music, and then we have the Apple Podcast app. Like, why can't they just mash it into one? You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think they know half the time.
I mean, so yeah, Leeroy Knox is back. Number four, right?
Number four.
Four, yeah.
Yes.
So, first guest of the year. It's 2021, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it feels good to be out of last year, you know?
Yeah.
We're mentally exhausted, man. I feel like we all aged like 5 years in one, you know?
My hair has been turning white.
You know? So far, man, we're 21 days, 3 weeks into the new year, man. How do you feel? Oh, I saw this on social media.
Oh?
Today is the 21st day of the 21st year in the 21st century. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is very cool. I saw that today. I was like, oh, shit.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's super trippy. So here we are, January 21, man. We're 3 weeks in. This 3 weeks, man, I feel like it's going by really fast.
A lot's happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened, man. How's your year so far?
Year's been going good.
How would you categorize, how would you describe 3 weeks into this new year?
Productive, hitting the ground running is probably the best way I would put it right now. Since the last time we talked in October, I took a break off social media for a few months. That was much needed. I highly recommend to everybody, like, if you can take a chance just to take some time for yourself, just to unplug from everything. Like, that is so worth it.
Dude, I admire the shit out of that. I mean, I've never completely just unplugged, but I know recently in my last couple years of life, me being more conscious of me, like, dude, I spend way too much time on my phone. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole reason I got off.
Exactly, man. And I mean, there's like a fine line you have to dance in between. It's like, well, you have dreams and aspirations of being a creative person. And you're like, but I need to do this to build my brand. But also there's a certain point where you're like, no, dude, you're literally just wasting time. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. You got to find a balance, man.
Absolutely, and that's what I had to learn during that time, because I had just put out that third project. Things weren't going so well with my job at Demas's, and I'm not there anymore. I quit. At the beginning of October, end of September. I just kind of got sick of that job, and just with everything the way, and everything the way with COVID is going right now. Yeah. I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna go back into my hole and do construction.
So that's what you're currently doing right now? Mm-hmm. What do you do? Like, actually, like, are you building homes or like
electrical work?
Electrical, okay.
Yeah, so we wire and trim out houses. We wire the houses when it's still in the framing process, like when they just put like the roof over and stuff. We come in, install all the switch boxes, plug boxes, pull the big wire to the panel, all that stuff, and make that up.
Murfreesboro?
Yeah,
nice.
Here in Rutherford County. We do it through All South Properties. They're kind of like the monopoly on residential homes here in Rutherford County and Middle Tennessee in general.
Yeah. Man, real estate's a weird business. Just
cutthroat business.
It's cutthroat, man. Like, it's a whole nother monster. I don't have the personality to be in sales at all.
Neither do I.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not a salesman. You know, I can't be Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street.
Sell me this pen.
That's not me.
Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way too. Some people just have the gift for selling themselves and able to sell you a new car or a house or something like that. And some people just don't have it.
Yeah.
Even if you have like parents that are like, "Oh, you'd be so great in sales, though." Yeah, I do great in it because you want me to be successful. But you know.
But do you think that I could be a good car salesman? No, like I mean, I don't know.
Maybe a used car salesman.
Maybe.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so let's talk about coming back, or let's talk about what you were doing while you were off of Instagram.
Yeah, sure.
What were you doing, like kind of behind the scenes?
First things first is I got off social media just because I had hit a mental wall per se. And there was just a lot of things going on in life, like I said, with work and everything, and with music in general. And I was just really down and depressed. I kind of was questioning why I even started it up again in the first place. And it just got to the point where it's like I feel like I'm trying to get my stuff out there in an already saturated market, and I don't even really know what I'm doing anymore at this point. So I decided just to get off. A lot of people were really worried about me because if you know me and you've known that like how like open I am about my life and everything, like I've had some very interesting moments, but I just needed some time for myself to just reevaluate what I had been doing, where am I going, a lot of self-reflection. And in that time, last time I was here, I talked about I did some ASMR videos. I made about 12 of those, and I ended up doing every single idea I had written down, and then after that, just nothing.
Well, did you feel like you were like, okay, I'm done with this? Like, I'm done,
For the time being.
I did that.
I did everything I had wanted to do with it, and then I just ran out of ideas and thought, well, I guess I'll come back to this later when I think of something else.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing I had to learn with music, too. I felt like I was forcing creativity and feeling like I needed to compete with everybody else that does music right now and everything like that. And I learned the hard way in those 3 months of solitude, just the only person you should be in competition with is with yourself, and how you can outdo yourself each time and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing,
Dude, absolutely, bro. I'm glad that you said competition. It's not a competition.
It's really not.
Dude, it's really not, dude.
I've had to just let that shit go.
It's really not.
It was eating away at me.
Yeah. And I do feel like a lot of people, specifically in this underground music scene, whatever you want to call it, all just kind of fighting and trying to scrape together a few likes here and there and views. It's like, dude, like, if you're, I mean, there's that shit, the whole culture of just that mentality is very misleading, because you can have a ton of likes and views on your shit, and that shit could be genuinely garbage. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, you can have 0 likes and no views, and that shit is amazing,
And another thing I learned during that time in solitude, I had needed to stop worrying about how many other streams and views other people had compared to me. And that was another reason I got down, because I just felt like, does nobody care? Am I just wasting my time? Because like I
feel the same way, honestly, man.
I went through like my analytics of like how my whole year went, and I did get a lot of streams, which is awesome.
Yeah,
like I got close to 300,000.
It's amazing.
And that is more than I ever thought I'd get this year. And I'm already hitting the ground running with 3 new songs I just put out. 2 of them I recorded during that time. But just at the moment, I looked at Tennessee, and it was like next to nothing, like barely any traction here. So I had been trying so hard to just connect with people around here and try to grow a little bit of an audience here. But nobody really seems to fuck with what I'm doing around here. So I just said, well, fuck it. They don't like it, then that's their thing. I'm going to go focus on the people that actually do care about this stuff and just make the stuff I want to make at this point.
Have you had like connections with people outside of Tennessee? Like, pretty frequently? I mean,
very frequently. I made a friend a while back, like last March, actually, he goes by 4Type on Instagram, but his artist name is Type 4. And he was a guy who just discovered me from a song I had playlisted.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was living out in Arizona at the time, but he really liked my track Sandals and Socks, and we became friends over that, and we talked to each other literally like every single day.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's what it's all about. To be honest, as an artist, bro, that is all it is about. It's like trying to form some sort of connection with a stranger.
And I'll give you another instance. Yesterday, this producer reaches out to me and tells me that he really fucks with my new track, like Find More and the other ones I put out. And he wants to send me beats and stuff. And usually when somebody sends me beats or something like that, sometimes it can be trash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
but I'm not knocking people. Like keep trying to
up.
figure out your voice and stuff. But yeah, sometimes, I mean, when I started out, my music was complete trash. So there's that. So sometimes you got to start somewhere. But anyways, when he sent me these beats, I was just really taken off guard by it. Like, wow, this is really good. And that little snippet I posted yesterday on my story, that was one of his beats.
Nice.
And he sent me a slew of other ones, and I'm writing into a few of them right now. And I'm like, dude, I'm so excited to work with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you found me, but this is awesome. And that's what I've just been trying to worry about. Like, I'm trying to worry less about, like, when people unfollow me or if I'm not getting enough likes, if I'm not getting enough streams or any shit like that. Just, I read something somewhere in an article talking about how if people unfollow you, good, you can make time for the people that matter to you most then and make more room for them and make more room for people that want to come in and be a part of it.
Dude.
Because that's what matters.
Honestly, yes. That's really all that matters, is having people around you who are genuine.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it sounds kind of corny to say, but it's really not, bro, because like, you know, you're 25, right?
Yeah, I'll be
all right.
26 in a few months.
So we're at a very crucial. I'm 24. I turned 25 in April. We're at like a very crucial, point in our lives, being in our 20s. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we don't have time to just waste. You feel me? And I'm not saying like just like drive yourself crazy, like trying to, I don't know. You don't have time to waste time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like, you don't have time to just have someone around you who's showing you fake love and who is just kind of, I mean, it's just toxic, and having that kind of energy around you.
Or even just people who just want to be bystanders, like they don't engage or like mess with the stuff, but they watch from the side.
Yeah.
Almost like, all right, I'm gonna watch this stuff and I'll jump in when you actually make it.
Yeah.
I ain't about
absolutely.
that shit. I'm about the people that have been with me from the start, and trust me, like, it's not an if at this point. It is a fucking win. When I do get this shit to blow up, like, I am going to figure out a way to repay everybody and then some. Because that's just how it is. You fuck with me, I fuck with you. That's how it always.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be in any facet of life, bro. Like, but specifically the music thing, dude. It's hard because people, like, going back to what you said, people really think this shit is a competition, man.
And see, if you're not in the quote-unquote, like, cool group, or like, if somebody's friends don't fuck with you, then it's like, oh, I can't be your friend then if you fuck with him. And just, you know where I'm going with this, all that nonsense. And I'm just sick of all that shit. Like, I didn't get in this shit to impress anybody. I love this shit. Like, I did a lot of soul searching during this time. And it's like, why did I even start music back when I was in high school? It's because I have a genuine love for hip-hop.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It's not because I'm trying to chase after clouds. It's not because I'm trying to get dollars or fucking bitches or anything like that. It's because I genuinely care about this shit and I love this shit and I want to keep the art form alive and encourage other people to, like, create and try many things with it. And yeah, like that was just a lot that I had to learn through that time. I also, like, was off my phone, like, a lot more during that time where I was off for a few months. I was actually playing the Mario Kart app a lot.
Hold on, bro.
No, you good.
Let me text my girlfriend real quick.
This is where he can add in a little title card that says, Slightlee Daily will return after this.
Hey. I'm recording an episode. I love you.
Okay, love you.
All right. I'll text you later, okay? All right.
Closed captioning
Yeah.
for Slightly Daily is provided by.
We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. Okay, so you're trying to, you genuinely appreciate hip hop and you want to preserve hip hop as an art form.
Mhm.
Tell me some of the first artists or songs that you remember that you were like, man, like this is real hip hop. And you, what was something that early on in little Leeroy's young life, what was like a song or an artist that you listened to? You were like, dude, this hip hop shit is dope. I love listening to, the storytelling and, substance in the music.
Easy answer. Anything by Common.
Common is good.
Common is
Hell
so
yeah.
fucking good. So, and I posted about this recently. I've been getting back in. It's funny that you mentioned this shit because I was getting back into the music that inspired me to get
Yeah.
into it in the first place in high school, and I was listening to Common's "The Light" from his album like "Water for Chocolate," which came out in 2000. And if you're not familiar with a lot of Common's work, he's been in the game for a very long time. Like, he's been putting out albums and stuff since the early 90s. And back then, in those days, he would put out songs like Resurrection, I Used to Love Her, shit like that. And then all the way up to what I think is his magnum opus, his masterpiece, the B album.
B.
That has songs like Go, They Say...
Go.
Go,
Yeah. Kanye
go,
produced that.
Go. Yeah, he produced I
Yeah.
think pretty much all of that album. I'm
Kanye,
pretty sure.
I think Common's a Chicago guy, right?
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so if I'm not mistaken, I think him and Kanye like came up together.
They did.
Came up.
They even performed on the Dave Chappelle show. They performed the
that's
food.
hard.
Walked in the crib, got 2 kids and my baby mama lay. Yeah.
You fuck with Chappelle's show?
Oh,
Dude.
Of course. I saw Dave Chappelle live in 2015 at the Ryman.
Man.
It was one of the funniest fucking nights of my life. Oh my god, dude.
Funny story. When we first moved into this apartment in last May, we didn't have Wi-Fi and shit set up yet. So I was like, okay, let's go to Goodwill and go get some DVDs. Long story short, got a few DVDs. Season 2 of Chappelle's Show was there. So I was like, bro, this is just like some things, man, you just got to have hard copies of, man. I'm like a collector.
I used to be.
I like things somewhat, like, material. Like, I'm not trying to say like I like to collect high-end expensive watches, but like it's specifically like this Chappelle Show, like you can't stream it anywhere.
Yeah, because he had that whole thing.
He got screwed over.
Yeah, he got screwed over by, I don't think it was just Viacom, but like HBO and stuff like that, because they uploaded it for free.
Yeah,
and there's a great 18-minute video. Like, he talked about it on SNL when he hosted, but he goes into great detail.
Oh, recently,
recently
yeah.
he came out with that video talking in great detail about why he chose to do this. Basically, why HBO is putting out Chappelle Show for free. Well, why do you guys need me? Why aren't you going to pay me for this thing?
Yeah.
Because, you should get paid for, the work you do and stuff like that. I can respect that, especially when your show is desperately trying to be syndicated on so many networks, Yeah. It's still on Comedy Central, though.
Yeah, it is. Do they still play reruns of that on, live TV?
Oh, of course.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't watch cable. We have cable, but I don't really watch cable, though.
I jump through different apps. I got YouTube TV. That is the premier cable app to have right now.
Is it really?
Yes.
So I had Hulu Live.
Hulu Live was good too. A little glitchy, but
they
good.
kept upping the price, bro. It's like $65 now a month.
It's fucking ridiculous. That's why we got rid of it and got YouTube TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
It started out at 45, and I was like, it's not too bad. But the reason I don't have it here is because with this apartment, part of our contract, we have to have, or we don't have to, but it's like cable is included in our contract. So it's like, okay, there's really no point in me paying for cut the cord online live TV shit. You know what I'm saying? But if we didn't have this contract, I would have done one of the streaming. I would only have Wi-Fi in this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you only got, so you're required in this lease to have like some type of cable provider.
Yes, Xfinity.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, it's like Xfinity, like whoever has a contract or whatever with Carrington Park, where we live, but so YouTube. What's the biggest difference in the YouTube TV thing?
Well, for one, it's a lot faster.
Yeah.
You don't have to like wait really long. Like you can just press a channel and it'll just immediately go to it. You don't have to wait. You don't really have any bad buffering or anything like that. It's also kind of like TiVo and like how you can like freeze TV and stuff like that and rewind. It records everything. So like if you wanted to watch a new episode of a show, but you don't want to wait for like for it to be like on VH1 or something the next day, it'll record the TV live recording.
Yeah.
And then you can go back and watch that program and skip all the commercials and stuff. Like, it's really fucking dope. Damn. I highly recommend it. That's a good app. Of course, we have Netflix. We got regular Hulu. I downloaded Disney Plus solely because I wanted to watch that movie Soul. Fucking great movie.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
Disney Plus is cool, man.
I've been watching The Simpsons like crazy.
Dude, I've actually never, we've all watched The Simpsons, but I've never watched it in like detail, like like multiple episodes and seasons.
I can say I have now. I usually don't watch anything past like the 16th season though, because
it's still going, man.
It's still on
30 something seasons now.
And some people like those new episodes, but it's like I can't watch any of that stuff like with like the new Family Guy and everything like that.
Yeah,
'cause it just looks like they're not trying anymore.
Do they still have Family Guy? I'm sure they do.
They're still making new seasons of it, but they're still making new seasons of American Dad, and that show is fucking hilarious. I've watched every single season. Day? Yes, their new seasons are fucking hilarious.
American Dad. Who is that?
It's on TBS now.
TBS.
Okay. When they were on Fox for their first 7 seasons, they had to do everything Fox wanted them to do. And Fox has a certain like audience they cater to and a certain demographic they want watching their program. TBS though is a little more out there and different, so they have a little more freedom to do what they want, especially the writers of the show. And compared to Family Guy, where it just looks like they're just collecting a paycheck at this point, like the American Dad episodes are like
creative.
They're really creative, really good. And like they're now doing episodes like tying back to plot lines that started in season 1. Which is crazy.
That doesn't happen in something like that.
No, like it's really cool.
Have you seen Futurama?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Dude, I watched it front to back, top to bottom, like continuously a few years ago. That's what I need to do. I need to go back and watch Futurama again. Futurama is amazing.
So I have a tradition and I did it this past New Year's as well. Every New Year's Eve, I always watch the pilot episode of that show because it's a great New Year special. Yeah. Like, you don't see, like, too many, like, you see plenty of, like, Halloween specials, Thanksgiving, Christmas, but you never see too many New Year's Eve specials. So if you ever want to watch something to make something tradition, watch the pilot episode for Futurama because, number one, if you've never seen the show, perfect introduction.
It'll get you hooked, man.
And two,
it's a good pilot.
It's a really good pilot episode. Pretty much all of that show, even the new episodes, was really good. I really love how it ended. The Sci-Fi Channel acquired the rights to it.
That's right.
And what they did this one night, and I thought it was really beautiful. So if you've seen the ending of Futurama, the last episode is called Meanwhile. And the plot of that episode is Fry wants to propose to Leela, and he comes across like this device that makes time go backwards by like 10 seconds. And I won't tell you what happens, but he finds himself stuck like in this loop, and they have to figure out how to get him out. And what they do at the ending of the show is the professor comes back and tells him, like, do we want to like start this all over again? And when he presses the button, what Sci-Fi did is they put the pilot episode in front of it, and as soon as the screen goes white, it goes immediately into the pilot space. It seems to go on forever, and I'm like, that is insane how that works.
Holy shit!
Like, it's almost like you can watch it all over again. Yeah, and it has really good repeated value. Like, if you've ever gone like to the behind the scenes of Futurama, like it's one of the smartest writing groups in the world because they have like 20 like PhDs collectively and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of the science they do in that show has been like tested and proven that it could actually work. Like, it is really, really well done.
Is it on Netflix? It used to be, right? That's
What is it? It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu
Yeah,
now?
every season is on Hulu.
I think it was on Netflix a few years ago, and I think that's where I watched it. Cause I think it was on that like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Cause I was still living with my mother. Yeah, Futurama. I'm about to watch that again.
Yeah, definitely. If you've never seen that show, it is definitely worth watching, especially if you ever liked The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Um,
Who else? What else did those creators make?
So they made
know?
this. Matt Groening, he made The Simpsons, then he made Futurama, and the show he's working
Damn,
on right
he's
now.
spazzed.
Yeah,
Snapped.
And the show he's working on right now is on Netflix. It's called Disenchantment.
Okay, I was gonna guess. I have not seen that, but just looking at the cover, it has like the same art.
That
artwork.
It has
I
the
haven't
same,
watched it, though.
It has a lot of the same voice actors too, including with some new ones
From Futurama?
It's from Futurama and The Simpsons.
Okay.
You got like Billy West on there.
Okay.
You got Maurice LeMinch, I think his name is his name. You got who else is on there? I'm losing my train of thought. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a really good show. Eric Andre's on it. One of the girls from Broad City.
Talk
is
about
the
dry
main-
humor.
Yeah, so he plays like a little devil on the show, and he's actually the best part because he's
Damn.
always trying to cause like chaos to the main character. And yeah, the main character is voiced by one of the girls from Broad City. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. It is
that
show
a cartoon?
No. Broad City is a show on Comedy Central that ran for 5 seasons. It stars these two girls named Abby and Alana, and you basically see like all the like goofy like adventures they get in the day-to-day life of living in New York. Hannibal Buress is on the show.
Okay.
And a bunch of other people. Highly recommend it.
He's funny as shit.
He's fucking great on it. They even have a great episode where they do shrooms, and it is the closest media. It is the closest media I've ever seen of depicting of what it's actually like to be on psychedelics.
Oh shit.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Damn, Futurama. What was it like? Late 90s, early 2000s?
Futurama premiered.
Early 2000s?
And this is another fact about me. I'll get in a second. Futurama premiered in 1999.
99.
December 31st, 1999.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it travels 1,000 years into the future.
Yeah.
And it's funny in the pilot episode because there's a part where Leela tells him like how far ahead he is, and he's like, "My God, 1,000,000 years."
He's such a doofus.
Yeah, fun fact about me, kind of like you, how you said you collect stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Back in high school and even in college, I spent most of my nights going to Hastings, buying up DVDs, and I miss Hastings so much.
Dude,
The Rock Common Place is cool though.
when they closed down, remember they were selling everything?
I was in there in the last few days it was open. It was funny in the music section. You know what 2 CDs nobody was buying?
What was it?
Kid Cudi's Speeding Bullet to Heaven and Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Oh,
Ryan
Jesus.
Lewis's The Unruly Mess I Made.
Oh God. I actually, this was when I was in college. I literally had no fucking money, but I walked in there with my friend and I was like, oh shit, everything in here is like 50% or 70%. How? It was some astronomical amount. I was like, we might as well go check it out.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 Dragon Ball Z DVDs. They have like 5 episodes each on them. And I was like, man, it's just a collector's item.
Oh, of
essentially,
course.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I found some really old, rare movies in there that you probably can't find on streaming.
still have
and
'em?
stuff. I still do have
Yeah.
them. So what I did is after they closed down and everything, I thought, okay, I probably need to try to condense these down. So actually, at Hastings, I found this jewel case that can hold over 500 DVDs, and with all the movies I collected, I was able to fill up the entire case.
damn.
So, and this even happened about 2 weeks ago. Our internet went out, and I found this old Xbox 360 Elite, and I've actually been playing the original Red Dead for the first time. That game is fucking awesome. So when the internet went out, I popped that out and put it in one of the discs. It's like, all right, we got no internet, might as well watch a movie because it ain't gonna be on for a few hours.
I think it is so important to have like a DVD collection, bro.
Absolutely. Like think
So
about
important.
I Am Legend. Like when the world went to shit, Will Smith still had movies to
I know.
watch in that universe.
I don't know, man. I I'm not bored with the streaming services. I think streaming services are amazing. I think Netflix and Hulu is amazing, but it comes in cycles, man. Obviously, you know, every month they take some away, and you know, there's contracts and shit they take and move.
That is a
add
thing
some
I
stuff.
hate. Yeah.
And like, dude, if you really kind of pay attention to it, man, there's only like one kind of sort of movie that will be on a streaming service. Like, you won't necessarily find like a fringe movie. Like I Am Legend, I don't think, you know, that's not on
I think
any
it's on.
streaming
I think it's on
services.
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
That's what I was about to get into. I'm glad there's starting to become more options when it comes to that. Like, I don't know if you guys don't have HBO Max. It's actually a really
I've
good.
never checked
app.
that out, actually.
They have all of the popular HBO shows that were like popular back in the day. They got Game of Thrones. They got all that stuff.
Nice.
They're gonna have the new one whenever that comes out. And I like how Disney Plus has everything on there. I honestly, I was totally against that at first, but I actually think that's the perfect app to have for families.
Oh, dude,
and then
it
you
is.
got Hulu and Netflix, which are like the tier things, and they have their own onslaught of movies they cycle through and bring back every now and again.
Yeah.
It's almost like the McRib. You really, if you really
A little
crave and you really
bit,
want
yeah.
it, just keep riding into McDonald's, and eventually they'll bring it back, or like with the nacho fries or something like that.
Dude, I want to say this about Disney Plus, bro. I love that they put all those old movies that we grew up on, like
Johnny Tsunami,
like that, or like any Smart House, you know, like that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, there's something about that vibe, that Disney Channel original vibe, you know, when it fills up like a quarter of the
Disney
screen.
Channel original movie.
You know what I'm saying? And it's 480p. Like, there's something about that vibe.
And they'd always play that dope intro of all the kids jumping into the logo at the beginning.
Dude, what was your favorite Disney Channel original movie? Like, what was like the first kind of thing that comes to mind? Movie or like show? Like, what was your Disney go-to back in the day that you were like, man, I love this?
TV show, I would probably have to say it's a tie between The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody
Amazing.
and That's So Raven.
That's So Raven was good. So me and Mylena, we watched the whole series of That's So Raven.
Yeah, that's a
It
good
still
one.
holds up, man. It's so funny.
And she's got that
She's
spinoff now,
hilarious.
Raven and Raven's in the House or whatever
Yeah,
it's called.
yeah.
No, that's Corey in the House.
Raven's in the House.
Raven's in the House.
What is it called? I don't know.
I think it is called Raven's House.
It might be called Raven's House.
Just,
I don't know.
That. I guess they couldn't call it Raven in the House.
Corey in the House.
That was a good show too.
Yeah, dude, it was. And yeah, dude, some of the humor holds up. Some of the jokes don't, obviously, but
Oh, of course not.
And plus, I'm a 24-year-old man, too.
Right.
So
the stuff we thought that was funny back
like,
then may not be funny now.
but some of it is, man.
Oh yeah,
Like,
some of it holds up great.
Like, you know how sometimes you'll go back and watch stuff like SpongeBob will have like some jokes and you're like, what did he say? Like,
So going back to Variety, another app I have is the Amazon Prime app, and they have every season of SpongeBob. And that is such a hard show to find because it's literally fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
But it has all the original episodes
damn, I did
and
not
everything.
know that.
Yeah, like Amazon Prime has all of the SpongeBob episodes.
Are they still coming out with new SpongeBob?
Yeah,
Surely
but
no.
who the hell is watching
I
it?
know. Surely, man. How?
They're still making new episodes, I think, yeah.
What is he doing? Like,
In this episode, we're going to set Squidward on fire. I don't know.
dude, you can't, man, I feel like we grew up in the golden age of TV, man. Honestly, I don't see a lot of everything that comes out today is remakes and sequels.
But you know what's funny, though? They were saying the same thing 20 years ago, and before that, and before that. I've been reading this.
I'm trying not to sound like an old hag, you know, like back into my day, we just, you know what I'm saying?
I've been reading this book, and it honestly, it predicted, it called, in the book, they wrote this in 1991. It is called Generations, and it's based off I think it's called the Strauss House Theory. Where is it? I thought I had a picture of it somewhere. Oh no, this is going to bother me. Ah, here we are. So this is the book. It's called The History of America's Past.
America's Future.
Oh, History of America's Future.
1584 to 2069.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
okay.
what's really cool about this book is it just talks about the generational patterns like all of the generations had from the silent era, the GI era, the boomers, Gen Xers, us, and now the Gen Zers.
Yeah, yeah.
And they talked in that book about the crisis of 2020 and how there is going to be like this pivotal event that is going to happen, which if it goes one way, it could put us in like this wasn't like exactly what they said, but this is basically 1,000 years of darkness, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we make the right decision and things go well, we'll be like in a moment of awe. Like in the next few years could be very prosperous and stuff like that. Definitely check out that book because it is crazy how they were able to figure out all this shit in 1991.
What did they predict about like movies and stuff though, or how do you relate that to like entertainment? That type of shit.
Entertainment.
You know what I'm saying?
I was getting a little sidetracked.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I'm
because that was another thing I wanted to talk about.
You're good.
But going back to entertainment though, when it comes to generational and stuff, you have the old timers today being like, oh, they don't make movies like they used to, and to an extent they are right. If you look at the movies that were made in the 1950s and 60s, they had much better budgets. Green screen wasn't even really a thing. They made all of the things they did were tangible objects you could feel. Like even in Star Wars, in the original Star Wars, all of that was real. All of that was real. And they don't make stuff like that anymore. So it's funny you mentioned that, saying like we live in the golden age of like television and stuff.
I feel like we grew up in
Yeah, but every generation has like their own version of that.
Exactly, man.
And we have ours right now. We'll be telling kids 30 years from now, well, back in my day, we had this or that.
I feel like I just feel like the 2000 to 2010 era when we were like genuinely kids, like
oh yeah, for sure,
10, 12, 13 years old. I feel like that era of as far as like ideas, like new fresh ideas is better than what it is now, because dude,
absolutely,
I feel like it's just like, I don't know, man. I just see today, I mean, what was like the last new movie that came out that was like, oh, this is interesting, this is a brand new fresh idea, and this is like a totally new thing. You know what I'm saying?
There not many.
Yeah,
I feel like,
I'm not saying that everything sucks that comes out now, but like, I don't know, man. Like specifically the Disney shit. Okay, let's look at that. Today,
why does Disney have to make a live remake of all their classic animation movies?
That's what I'm getting at. All right. Okay, it's cool. I know The Lion King looked amazing. It was a dope remake.
I laughed my ass off.
Like, okay, the Aladdin movie, okay, cool, and then the Mulan, okay, cool, but like, where's the Soul movie? Okay, that was dope. That was a new fresh idea.
And that was the reason I was going to bring that up, is because that was something.
Yeah.
It was a lot like Inside Out, but then again, it's not, because
true.
that movie was... Inside Out was all about like your emotions and everything like that. This movie was more about
the meaning
like,
of life,
the meaning of life, anxiety and stuff like that. I really loved the scene they had showing all those lost souls, like the dude who kept thinking about like, gotta get another stock.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many moments, like, and I'm sure you've had it too, where we've had moments like that.
Yeah,
where
we're in a loop,
stuck in that constant loop. Just reliving that over and over and over, and it feels like you're stuck in this box.
Maybe I am just an old hag.
Maybe we all
no,
are.
because Soul was a really good, fresh, new take. Disney and Pixar, they snapped.
They really did.
That Sing. Have you seen Sing? It's like okay, and you also gotta have like.
I don't like that movie.
You also, you gotta have like. You got to realize, the target audience.
No, yeah,
it's for kids.
It's for kids.
I will say this though, my Lena's little sister, she's like 9 years old, loves that movie. Like,
And
repeat. Watch it
there's-
on repeat.
There's nothing wrong with
You
that
know?
because there were movies back in our day when we were little kids that to adults at the
It's like, this is
time they
stupid.
probably thought it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And to me, movies like Sing, I think, pander to audiences and stuff, and I feel like it dumbs them down. But that's just my opinion. Like,
Yeah, true.
people like the 9-year-old, they may love it, and there is nothing wrong with that. Let kids be creative, and that is a movie that can inspire people.
Yeah.
Because it's all about
That has a message, too.
Yeah, that movie has a clear message. It's just follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams.
As simple as that.
And, you know, like the big elephant girl, she's like the best singer out of everyone. And, like, but, like, she's like shy and, like, you know, reserved. And, like, when she's really the best one, you know? Like, go get that shit. That's basically what it's saying.
Always beware the silent ones.
Okay. Favorite Nickelodeon cartoons
Favorite Nickelodeon cartoons
or shows. You know, that's the thing about Nick. It was mostly, well, okay. It was mostly cartoons. You had like Cat Dog and SpongeBob and stuff, but then you get into like the 2010s and it was like Victorious and like Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh.
Yeah, though that Drake and Josh and stuff was actually the early 2000s, and
Oh,
but
that is
and
true.
you also had shows like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Ooh, yeah.
That was one of my
It's a different
favorites.
type of humor, man.
Yeah,
It was like, I feel like the Disney stuff was maybe for elementary school kids.
and
maybe the
Nick is for middle school kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
what,
sure.
What was some of your favorite Nick shows?
Well, of course, Drake and Josh.
Drake and
I mean,
Josh.
that's
Dude, that's
obvious.
That is like an amazing show. It's on Hulu, or it was at one point. And
I think it still is. Yeah.
Mylena and I, we watched the whole thing. You know, every single night. You know, eating dinner. Like that was what we watched until it ran out. It's so it's
Yeah.
great, honestly. Nick
Nick has some great shows. Going back to what you said about like movies that like really like have stuck out to me lately. Soul, yeah, obviously that was another big one. One though I have actually watched 3 times now, and it is my favorite movie right now. It is called The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe. That movie fucked me up.
It's newer.
It's newer. So it came out before the pandemic. It's an indie movie, and it's made by this guy called Robert Eggers. He is a dude who is clearly passionate about filmmaking and really passionate about period pieces. His first movie he came out with was The Witch. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's a story of this family in like the 1600s, 1700s, like Salem witch trial kind of time, and they break away from their church and they move out to this remote place in the wilderness so they can build their own private life together. And there is this witch that's out in the woods that's fucking with them, and you never see the witch the whole time, and you don't really know, and it's kind of like just watching this family fall apart, really. So it's part horror movie, like part drama, and that's kind of how The Lighthouse is. The Lighthouse tells the story of these 2 lighthouse keepers, played by Defoe and Pattinson, and they travel to this remote rock off the coast of New England. And they basically have to spend 4 weeks on this rock, and it's grueling conditions, you know, because it's in the middle of the ocean. And as it is a movie full of metaphors and symbolism and stuff like that. And it's also in black and white, and it's shot in like a 4:3 kind of thing.
Really?
So it feels like you're watching a movie from the 1930s. And right down to the outfits and everything, and even the way they speak. What Robert Eggers does in his movies, especially for this one, is he would study logs, journals, diaries, and books written by people who were like sea captains back in the day, or actual lighthouse keepers. And as the movie goes on, there is this seabird that keeps bothering Robert Pattinson's character, and he keeps telling it to shoo, but it just keeps squawking at him. And William Dafoe, he's kind of like this Captain Ahab sea shanty kind of dude. It's like, be best not to mess with seabirds. Those are the souls of dead sailors. and then as I'm watching this movie, there's all this weird imagery and like these dream sequences that keep happening. And I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be like a really deep movie?
Yeah.
And towards the end, yes, I was just blown away. So what happens is, spoiler alert if you have not seen this movie, Robert Pattinson kills the fucking bird.
Oh.
He gets so tired of it, and there's this graphic scene where he literally takes it by the legs and just starts beating it to death.
Shit.
And just starts flailing it everywhere.
Oh, God.
And then you can hear all the seabirds in the background just start crying out in agony. And then the wind changes, and on top of the lighthouse, you see the windmill vane turn the other direction, symbolizing you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And what happens is they're done with their quarters there, and Robert Pattinson, it's not clear if he imagines this or it really happened, but he finds a mermaid washed up on the beach, and it starts screaming at him, and he's running away in agony, and they're waiting for their ship to come pick them up, but it never comes.
What?
And they're marooned on this rock. And the rest of the movie is just them going mad with some great monologues, a lot of tension. And I will say, this movie is fucking hilarious. There are so many great lines. There's this great scene that like has been shopped around YouTube for a few times, like William Dafoe, best acting scene ever, where he basically gives this whole monologue where he's just talking down to Robert Pattinson character because he makes fun of his cooking. And at the end of it, Robert Pattinson's just like, all right, have it your way. I like your cooking. just the whole movie is amazing. I couldn't understand what they were saying a lot in the beginning because it's old talk it's supposed to take place like in 1891.
Okay.
And so what I did is, and I do this sometimes with movies like where I'm really invested and engaged, but I don't understand what they're saying. I turn the subtitles on.
Yeah.
That way I'm able to read everything. So after I did that, I watched the movie for a third time, and I'm like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Like, it's really awesome, like, when I see a movie that impresses me from start to finish, and there's not a dull moment. But here's the thing, though. It's not a movie that's for everybody. Everybody's got their own favorite movie. Somebody's favorite movie may be like Star Wars or something like that. And even though that may be like a basic answer, if that's your favorite movie, it's your favorite movie.
Absolutely.
I just, like, I've been around filmmaking my whole life. I mean, I went to school to be a journalist, and I took a lot of filmmaking classes while I was there too, because I had to learn a lot of videography. And just, I really love it, like, when an artist is given a chance to, like, make something they really are passionate about and shows why film is one of the greatest art forms on the planet.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for a studio to say, okay, we're going to make a sequel to this brand that used to make us a lot of money, and we think we can get a lot more money out of it again. And if that's what you want to do, great. You'll get a quick buck, and it'll fade in and fade out of obscurity. But I see this movie, like, it didn't get like a lot of like critically acclaimed. It's got like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Damn. Yeah, but not a lot of people went and saw it. But I highly recommend renting it.
Where'd you get it on?
I originally rented it on Google Play, and then I realized, oh my God, this shit is on Amazon Prime for free.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free right on there. Yeah, that's my whole spiel about The Lighthouse. Really great movie.
It sounds cool. I see me. I do like, the trippy Star Wars sci-fi fantasy shit, but I really like thrillers. Thrillers are my favorite. I like drama movies. Shutter Island,
If you like Shutter Island, you would definitely like this movie.
Okay.
For sure.
Shutter Island is so good, bro. Shutter Island is top 5 movie for me, man. Oh,
I've seen that movie a few times too.
So good.
And just like with The Lighthouse, I always take something away new each time I watch it. You learn something, or you see something you didn't see more. And to me, those are the best kind of movies.
Dude.
Where each experience, you learn something new each time you come away. That's the mark of a good filmmaker, is when you put so many different like Easter eggs and bits into your stuff. Like I try to do the same thing with my music. Like that was part of the reason why I wanted to do the ASMR videos. That way, like when this stuff does blow up, if you happen to come across that stuff, it's like, oh my God, he actually does it. It's like a small little Easter egg.
Yeah. Give me your top 2 favorite actors of all time.
Oh shit, that is so hard to think
Two.
of. Two. I guess if I had to think the first one right off the bat, I would say the first one is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, okay.
Because
There Will Be Blood.
I was just about to say, I just watched that again recently. Amazing movie.
How did he do, dude?
He's a method actor.
Oh, what place did what period, time period was that? 18.
So that movie, it took place from 1891 to 1927.
Okay, so
That's where he was at the end with the bowling pin.
this man literally could have passed for a 19th century oil farmer or whatever the fuck it is. You know, like that.
I am an oil man.
Yeah.
Daniel Plainview. Yeah, it
such
was
a
so
good
good.
movie.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Daniel-
That was made by Paul Thomas Anderson. He's also made a lot of really good movies as well. He made Boogie Nights with what's his fucking name? Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he made that movie. He made Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler. He made The Master with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix. He made Inherent Vice with Joaquin Phoenix. And he just worked on another... Oh, yeah, he made Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis. That was actually his last movie. He's retired now. He's done with acting.
I need to check that out.
He was... That's the reason why he's one of my favorite actors, is because he's extremely selective with his projects. He's done so many movies. He did that movie. He did The Last of the Mohicans. That's a really good one. He played Lincoln in the Steven Spielberg movie. He was the butcher in Gangs of New York.
I haven't seen that. I know it's a classic though.
He is so much like his fucking character in There Will Be Blood in that movie. It's really good to watch him play a villain. What he does is he does massive, extensive research when he's getting ready for a role. He basically just becomes a character. Like he read like 80 books about like Abraham Lincoln to become that role. Like he visited like Gettysburg and a bunch of other places. Like that's commitment.
That is.
And people like Heath Ledger did that too when he played the Joker. Like he fell into that role.
Turned into the Joker.
And it may have been the thing that almost
that
I'm sure it was a number of
him
other
up.
things too, but that was probably one of the things that led to his death.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's crazy like to see like what actors go through to like really get committed to those roles and stuff instead of just playing up to their celebrity. Like to me, someone like Tom Hanks, he's a great actor, but I just see Tom Hanks in every movie.
He just kind of fills the role.
Yeah, like Tom Cruise. There's another guy that
Tom
fills
Cruise
the role.
figured the game out. Like he's an actor and he will act, you know, and then but you know, he's not going to like pour his soul and heart into every role though. I'm sure there's some movies where he did, like I mean, I can't specifically name a Tom Cruise movie that I can think where I was just like, man, like he killed that. I mean,
Live, Die, Repeat.
He
That's
does
a
good.
one.
Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
That
It's long as shit, but it's good.
I know that is one Stanley Kubrick movie I've not seen. I've seen all of Stanley Kubrick's other movies.
You need to watch that, man.
But I hear that one's a trip because it's like about like a sex cult.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Look, it is relevant. I mean,
I bet it's extremely relevant.
It's like a jab kind of at, you know, Hollywood conspiracy type shit. You know what I'm saying? You hear, I mean, conspiracies, take it or leave it, but like,
and it's funny that Tom Cruise is in that movie, especially with Scientology.
Yeah. Shit. Give me another actor.
All right,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
So
and
if I had to pick like my top tier like Oscar actor, yeah, that would be him. But now like my second favorite actor, this has to be a fun one, and I picked this person because number one, I own a lot of his movies, and he holds a special place in my heart because it's not that he's a great actor. It's just there's something about him that's so charismatic and awesome that is just so like engaging to watch, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
okay.
Like
I thought you were gonna say Nicolas Cage.
He's another good one. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but I mean, National Treasure is a great movie. But there's just something about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I own a lot of his movies, not just like the Terminator and stuff. He's been in so many since the 70s, and every single movie he's been in, like he always brings a certain type of like energy, humor, and action and physicality to it. Like, have you ever seen The Running Man? That one's very relevant.
What is that? Is that one like a drama?
That's actually an action movie.
So movie.
He never really was in any drama movies per se. He was always in action or comedy movies like Jingle All the Way, which is another guilty pleasure. But The Running Man takes place actually in the 80s. It kind of takes place in this time right now. It's kind of like this dystopian type future. And everything is kind of ran by this game show called The Running Man. And basically these people who were like prisoners or political prisoners, or Arnold Schwarzenegger in this case, they get launched into this game called The Running Man. And the whole plot of the movie is they have to run to the end without getting killed to like gain their freedom. Is a really good movie. I highly recommend watching that one. Another one he's really good in is Predator. That movie is so many great one-liners. It was made by the guy who made Die Hard. Yeah, so it's full of so much action and testosterone. like it's definitely like a big buff. That's the one where the whole "get to the chopper" comes from.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely. Those guys are probably in my top 5 category. Daniel Day-Lewis, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And I got a few other ones too, but I'd be on here talking for hours about that.
Let's talk about clothes and merch, man.
Clothes and merch. Yeah,
clothes
we
and
got merch. So
let's talk about it.
So back late last year, I think it was like maybe. Actually, no, it was back in May. So my buddy Levi Higgs, I don't know if you know him.
I never met him.
So he goes by Offbeat like LJ on Instagram, and then his other channel, which he has all his art on, is like ArtBLJ. And he, I don't know if I had reached out to him or he reached out to me, but we had came up with an idea. I had come up with an idea of like how I wanted my merchandise to be. Kind of like this TV that's like in the middle of the desert, maybe with like a person in the background and some tumbleweeds and cactuses. And he took that idea and he made that logo I've been posting about a lot recently. And I thought it looked fucking awesome. So he told me about this website called Spreadshirt, and that is, if you are trying to get your merchandise out there, they literally do everything for you. You can set up your website, set up what kind of merchandise do you want. Do you want t-shirts? Do you want hats? Do you want hoodies? And you can put them all in your store, and they have the merchandise and goods. And what's really cool about these hoodies we've been putting out is they're fleecy. And I didn't know that. And so comfortable. I just did this photo. I just did this photo shoot over the weekend, and I can't wait to share those photos with when my editor gets done with them. But yeah, so we've taken this logo and it's called Off Air. And what's really cool is you can't really see the design from far away, but you can see the color bars, and it's almost like this Tony Stark kind of thing where you see like the symbol in his chest.
Yeah.
And we have the hoodies right now in several different colors. We have it in gray, burgundy, denim blue, forest green.
T-shirts or hoodies?
Hoodies. Yeah.
Hoodies.
We have T-shirts too.
Okay.
So the T-shirts I was like giving away last time, and they're still on there too. And then we also have sweatshirts. They're also in gray. And when it came to doing merchandise, I didn't want to just like do something and put my name on it, because that's easy, you know? Like, and Levi had such a great like artistic representation of like how I wanted my design to be. I was like, I am getting you in on this. We will share profits on this, and we do. I pay them every single month whenever people buy up stuff from the site, which is awesome. So it's a great business relationship, and it's really cool because like all you got to do is just pick out what you want, and they'll ship it right to your house, just like that. And you don't have to do anything. Like, it's really cool. Of course, you have to like set up like your I-9 and stuff like that, because you know it is technically a business.
Yeah.
But the really great merchandise. Going to be posting a lot of pics for it real soon. And the main thing is it is comfortable stuff. These are comfy tees you can like wear to bed or wear out. comfy hoodies and sweatshirts like you can wear to like work out or in the home if you're just chilling, some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like, yeah, that is the main thing. Comfort.
I like that you're doing that, man. It's, you know, because I that's my next step as well. Is I'm trying to, you know,
Get the Slightly daily merch.
Yeah, get the Slightly daily merch and stuff. What kind of made you like you know, I like clothes, but I'm not like a fashion, you know, guy.
Neither am I.
That's what I was gonna ask you though. Like,
don't think just because I'm gay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know fashion.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was just saying like, so I was gonna ask you though, like, if you were, if you like took like wherever, just like took a liking to like clothes, I guess, you know, in like how deep are you in the fashion game? You feel me?
I would say if
know?
I actually had this question asked recently, like how serious are you
Yeah.
about merchandise? And I'm like,
Right.
well, I guess if I had to classify it, the music comes first, the merchandise is second.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about it. Like, it's cool, like, if you do music and, like, if you want to do merch and put your name on it and stuff like that. But first things first, the music has to be good before you even get to the merchandise.
Anything, yeah.
And I didn't even want to do merchandise at first. The whole reason I wanted to do it is I don't care if I don't make a cent off it. Like, you don't even have to buy my stuff. Like, I don't want to push it on you like I'm advertising. Like, hey, listen to my music and buy the t-shirt.
I need your money.
No,
Give me your money.
I need your fucking money.
Yeah.
Give it to me. But no, I just thought of it as like I want something like cool, like that can be a conversation starter. I want when they're wearing it, I don't want people to feel like they're wearing a brand. I want them to feel like they're wearing like an idea, a conversation starter. That way, when they run into somebody, like, oh, hey, where'd you get that?
Yeah, where'd
oh,
you
this
get
is
that?
actually the Leeroy Knox sweatshirt. I'm like, how did this come about?
Okay.
Like, it's a really cool thing.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Because, yeah, on first glance, you don't really know what it's come from. It's just a TV in the desert.
Yeah, and blankness around it.
Yeah, and I think I've talked to you about this before, about why I use color bars in my music. I mean, it also goes back to the LGBT thing, you know, rainbow colors.
True.
But also,
It's like a double entendre.
it's like a double entendre.
Yeah.
And the thing about with the color bars is the reason they use them in television is because it's supposed to display all the colors on screen to make sure they're all seen correctly and nothing's wrong. Nothing looks like, wait, where's the green or something like that. And I kind of like see that about life. Like, all the
Interesting.
colors are right here. Everything is equally represented right here on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, even out here in the middle of the desert.
That's
I also just thought like a TV in the desert would be cool too.
yeah. I've noticed that is kind of your aesthetic though. Is that TV? It's like an old school TV too. I don't know if you did you do that intentionally as well?
That was intentionally.
Yeah.
Like, I also have like an old like
Tube
But
TV.
I have a so Matt, he found a he actually found this on the Facebook marketplace in
Love
Antioch.
Facebook, bro. I bought these mics on there, man.
See, so you get it.
That GoPro, man. Yes, Facebook Market is amazing.
So this man was giving away this 1978 Panasonic black and white television for just $40.
Wow.
It was just sitting in his storage unit, just collecting dust. And when we cleaned it up and turned it on, it was like it was brand freaking new.
Wow.
And it's such a vibe. And now that I got those Google bulbs in my studio, what started out as just me having a lamp in my studio with just a black light, I can just say, okay, Google, turn on the observatory, and the purple lights will come up. And I also have my disco ball in there with like my tapestries and
Nice.
my lights. So my studio can be a fucking vibe. Like, and that was another reason why I got off social media too, is because there was this guy who wanted to come film at my studio, but when I described it to him, he's like, oh, we're actually looking for something a little more professional.
What?
Yeah, and that kind of got me down. I'm
What
like,
do you mean
what-
professional? Like,
yeah, it's like, so because I don't have like any fucking fancy ass boards and shit in a
don't-
glass
dude.
room, that automatically means like it just writes me off.
fucking times have changed, dude. You don't fucking, dude. That's fucking whack as fuck.
Yeah,
Whoever that is.
I'll tell you about it later. it is whack. And see, that was making me get in my head.
Professional. Like, dude.
Like,
you're obviously you have a fucking home studio. Like, what
Yeah.
do you want it to be.
Even when Billie Eilish and her fucking brother won all those fucking awards, they said, look, if you're making music in your bedroom right now, you're doing it right.
You're doing the exact
you
same
don't
shit.
need, I mean, if you do get access to a fancy studio,
Go for
fucking
it.
make some professional shit.
Yeah.
Like next month,
Go for it.
I'm actually like in the process of booking a session with this dude named Quinn in outside of Nashville next month. He's got a professional studio, and I'm finally getting to get into professional
try it
booth.
out. Yeah, go test
Don't
it
get me
out.
wrong, I like my my homemade shit that I make, but if I want to take Leeroy to the next level, like I've got to invest more, and that's what I've been doing. Like that's why I wanted to come back, because it's like I don't want to like fucking go out like this. I just want to keep outdoing myself every time. And what's cool about this music process and everything is it's so hard for me creatively to like sit down and write a song, like actually make time to just sit down and like, okay, let's try to come up with some ideas, because usually half the time, like I can't think of anything. It's always when I'm not trying and I least expect it, and when I'm drawing from like experiences. One thing, I don't know how much time we got left, but
good.
yeah, I wanted to talk about the recent songs I put out and like where they came from, specifically Blondie.
Okay.
If you've heard that.
Yeah,
track.
I did. You texted it to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that song is actually a true story. So what happened to me, and it kind of gave me a new thing to like do music this year. Like my goal for this year is I want to try to put out not like a new project or anything, but new music every month for the rest of the year. That's my 2021 goal. And if I can't make it, I can't make it. But I'm gonna do the best I fucking can.
Like you're trying to like put out like a couple singles every month. Or
Yeah, like
type
one or two songs every month for the rest of the year.
One or two good songs.
Because
a
I've
month?
already made 3 tapes, and
Yeah.
I've been like coming up with like ideas in my head about like how I want to like go forward, but it's still in early stages. And my whole problem with my last tape is I felt like I rushed it. So
It was shorter too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of rushed it out a little bit, even though I do love Hot Girl Drummer and the streams are racking up on that right now. But I'm kind of treating this year as like, this is the year I just want to experiment and have fun. Try some different things and try some different sounds and come out with some really dope shit. But back to Blondie.
Yeah.
So I get sidetracked so easily. Last month, I got pulled over by a THP officer,
What is that?
a Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Oh, THP.
A state trooper.
I got you.
basically.
I was like, what
Yeah,
the
that's
hell
why
is that?
that's why I said that in the song. The THP needs some THC. Little jab. But I got pulled over last month because it was for speeding, but I was going 28 in a 15 school zone. It was 7:52 in the morning. I was half awake. I didn't even realize I was going that fast. And then when I realized I did, I immediately just tried to slam on my brakes and slow down. But there was a state trooper out of the corner of my eye to my left, and she saw what I was doing, and I guess she had watched me for a bit, and she just immediately got behind me, and the first chance she got immediately in my lane and pulled my ass over.
Damn.
And I could tell like she didn't want to pull me over, but it's just, it's her job and that's a
had
school
to.
zone. And she just treated me like dirt. Like she was so mean to me. She treated me like I was like a criminal. Like she was trying to see if I was like high or drunk, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm working
It's
right now.
7:50 in the morning.
Why would
what
I-
do you mean?
Right. She was like asking about my age and all this stuff like that, and just being so mean. And I'm like, why do you have to be so mean? And she takes my information and stuff, and then she comes back and then she slaps me with a $308 ticket. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's how much tickets are if you get a speeding ticket in a school zone.
Schools.
And I paid it. The next week I went back in and paid it. And what sucks is usually you can take driving school to get points off your license and to like get clean from the ticket. But the thing about the Tennessee Highway Patrol compared to Murfreesboro City Police is that Murfreesboro City, you can take the test online and that's it. But with the THP, you have to go in front of a judge and they have to assign it to you. And even then, you may not even get it.
Paying the court costs too.
Yeah. So you may go in there and you may try to get the driving school, but it's the judge's decision at the day, and he may look at your record, or she may look at your record and think, nah, I'm not going to give that. You're just going to pay the fine
You
and
just
take the
wasted
points.
your time.
And you would also waste a day out of work. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to pay
Take
the
my
ticket.
money.
I'm taking the hit on my insurance and my license. I've only been pulled over one other time in my life, and it was just because I was texting and driving.
Yeah.
And it was 2 years ago. So that was the whole reason why I didn't want to go in front of a judge, because it's like, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste their time, because you're probably not going to give it to me, because I had a recent ticket. So that day, I was already depressed, because I was in a very depressive period at that time. My grandparents' house had burned down that November. They're no longer with us. They died about 2 years ago, but my parents had spent so much money out in Rockville trying to renovate it, and then just one morning burst up into flames. And it crushed my family, and it specifically crushed my mom, because she spent her whole entire life out there and had so many moments out there. And thankfully she's doing much better now, but it was just kind of a dark time in my life, just everything going on. And that day I made a decision, because I had made Find More and Sensual Supervision up to that point, and was kind of just sitting on those, but I hadn't really made anything new in a while, like a good month and a half. And I just thought to myself, okay, I can either let this shit just eat away at me, and I can just get mad about it and pout about it, or I can fucking turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
And that same day I got that ticket, I wrote Blondie.
Nice.
And yeah, that's how that happened. And I wrote it to a Quentin Miller song called Potential. And I couldn't figure out what beat to use it for until I came across Bailey Daniels' channel. A really fucking awesome dude. He works with like Stoic Beats and Versus Beats, Pilot Kid, Eerie Skies, all those guys. They're all kind of like in a collective group together.
And you've worked with pretty much all of them, right?
All of them? Pretty much all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them were on the Tommy Hammerman project I just dropped with Tidwell a while back.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, especially Eerie Skies. But yeah, when I found that beat and how well I just was able to flow with it, like that's honestly like my favorite track I've made up to this point. Like I always love when I can make my next favorite track.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the middle of writing another one that is drawn from experience. Like my new phone I just got 3 days ago is already cracked. And they don't want to give me a refund. I'm sorry, this phone is no longer covered by our warranty. Fuck you. I've had it for 3 days and I don't even know how it broke.
Is it the actual screen or the screen protector?
Dude, it's the actual screen. Like, look at it.
Oh shit. Man.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. Don't get me wrong, I love this phone and it still works.
Yeah.
But that just kind of pissed me off.
Sucks.
But I wrote a new song about it and just used that. So one of my goals for this year is like I've written about a lot of songs like about like myself, like drawing stuff from like my past and experiences I've been through. And that's kind of like what I've just been having to learn with music is like music comes from experience.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just make a song just being like, I'm hard as fuck or I got bitches or something like that.
Yeah.
But like it's really cool like when you can make something that like that's like actually like happened to you.
Yeah.
And you can make it sound good. So like that's one of my goals this year is I'm just trying to have fun with music, make things like that just happen to me as I go,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
just see what happens, not try to like force creativity and strain myself because of it. Just it literally is like a wave. It just comes and goes. And that's basically what I've been doing up to this point, man.
Absolutely, bro.
I'm going to see what happens next. I do have those photos that are about to come out. That was actually the first photo shoot I'd ever done. And that was a really great feeling because I'm gonna make a lot of those photos, like my new profile pictures, like for my Spotify page, SoundCloud,
right?
all that. And it's just nice knowing like I actually have like the influencer looking kind of like photos for once.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely get like a photographer like whenever like you get a chance because like it's always good. It's always good when you get professional stills done, especially when they're relating to like the brand and everything you're trying to create. But yeah, just trying to take life as I go and making each day count, and especially after everything that's been going on in our political realm right now. Like, we're fatigued. We're fatigued, but I'm optimistic that we can get back on track and go in the right direction. It'll be a lot of work and take a lot of time, but I think it's possible.
Yeah, man. Anything you want to say, man, before we get off here?
Just want to say thank you for having me back on here. I can't
yeah.
believe, like, it's hard to believe, like, it was almost a full year, like last year when we first like did this together.
Actually, yeah, it was cold. I remember.
Yeah, it was
probably
around like the end
February.
of it was right after your show.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
February.
and it was right before the Super Bowl, so it was around this time. And it was kind of like what I said last time
was a
when we
whole
were on.
year.
It's kind of like what I said last time on here. Like, we should meet again when a new season changes.
Yeah.
Like, we met last fall. Now we've met together in the winter.
Yep.
And I guess I'll be back here
In the spring.
And
Yeah, man.
one other thing, you said your birthday's in April. So are you an Aries?
I am.
Me too.
Nice.
That
Okay,
that
cool.
makes a lot
Yeah,
of
it does
fucking
make
sense. Yeah.
Spencer Johnson is an Aries as well.
Spencer, why did you unfollow me?
Oh, dude.
Why do you ignore me? What did I do?
I'm gonna clip that and put it on my story and tag him.
Seriously, I don't know what I did.
Oh, dude.
Like, that's a whole nother topic I could say for another episode. Is like when people unfollow you, like, do you ever just get the feeling like, what did I do?
No, definitely.
But I read, and that's kind of like when I went into that whole spiel earlier, talking about how sometimes you just make room for other people and stuff like that. And sometimes when people unfollow you, it may not even have to do with, like, the person may not even liking you. They may just not like seeing your type of content on their story and their timeline, and they're only looking for specific type of content
Yeah.
they want to see in their rotation.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's kind of like with, like, TV shows, I think, except it's with people.
Yeah.
You get tired of a TV show, you throw it out, you make room for another one.
Let's change the channel.
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay, Spencer. I love you.
episode 87. Man, let's hope this year let's see some success. I think we're due. I think everyone who, you know who you are deep down, if you've worked, you know what I'm saying? You know if you're due for a change in a positive direction. You feel me?
I feel you.
You
man.
know if you're due. And I feel like you're due. I feel like, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. Frico, she just changed her story. I actually know her bio, saying something like, I think it's around the lines of Ferrari ain't up next, like I'm right now. And I think
Yeah.
I think that's the mood. Like,
That's a good-
we're not up next. We're right now.
Yeah, right now.
Like, I'm trying to get it while the getting's good, man.
Yeah.
And nothing's gonna stand in my way. If you got beef, you got beef. But I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
So
You got beat. I mean, it's a one-sided beef, man. You know?
yeah, I'm just trying to do my fucking thing. If you can't get down with that, then that's your thing, you know?
Hell
Like,
yeah.
That's all it is.
Episode 87. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Leave a like.